Welcome to Hometown Banknotes, where economy, bank life, and hometown spirits meet. I am your host, Janice Spooner, a local banker and proud community advocate. On this show, we will share conversations that connect dollars to decisions and people to purpose. At NBT Financial Bank, we're rooted in community, growing your financial future, and this podcast brings that mission to life. Whether you're a business owner, a neighbor, or just curious about what makes our local economy tick, this is the space for you. Remember, at NBT Financial Bank, we're more than just your bank, we're your partner in progress. Before we get into the interview with our special guest today, let's take a quick look at where the economy stands today. As we record this episode on December 11th, 2025, national economic data is still coming in and catching up due to the recent federal government shutdown. So the most recent confirmed numbers are through October. And even so, there are clear trends to define 2025, as we will see in this episode. Inflation is steadily moving lower. The labor market has cooled into a more balanced, sustainable pace. Long-term Treasury yields have leveled out. And just yesterday, the Federal Reserve cut rates once more for the third time in 2025 in the fall. Now, let's talk about that for a minute, because lower rates doesn't instantly reduce everyone's everyday expenses, especially when families are still navigating higher grocery prices, insurance costs, and housing pressures. But they do help create opportunity for families to understand what's happening and plan for the future. And here in Texas, our outlook continues to outperform much of the country. Job growth remains positive, supported by strong people moving in from other parts of the country into our local Dallas-Fort Worth economics. Construction and hospitality continue to move forward, and the service sector strength across North Texas. Now, with that backdrop, let's take a look at three indicators we've all been tracking all year long, and especially through this podcast. For our chart 1 here, we have inflation. And while the chart reflects from 2015 to 2025, you'll see the green zone. It's the comfort zone between 2 and 3%, which is what the Fed's trying to achieve. When inflation moves closer to that 2 to 3% comfort range, it doesn't mean everything feels cheaper, but it does signal that price pressures are slowing. And slower inflation helps families and small businesses plan with more clarity, holding and going into this next year. Now let's talk about consumer confidence and what that actually means. In this chart, you'll see the range doesn't suggest people should spend more in the green zone. It simply reflects how stable households are feeling. And during the Christmas season, supporting local businesses matters, but doing so wisely and intentionally even more so. And now in chart 3, our federal funds rate. We have a healthy lending range between 2 and 3%. With the Fed's additional rate cut just yesterday, borrowing continues to shift towards a healthier zone. Again, this isn't about borrowing more, but it is about sustainability, predictability, and to be able to map out financial decisions with confidence, whether you're a family or a small local business. So as we now go into our main segment, it is such a great honor for me to welcome to the show Mayor William D. Tate. Mayor Tate, thanks for being here today.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me.
Absolutely. I feel that you are, or I could describe you as a true Texas icon, one that has been around in service for almost, here we are at 50 years. Thank you so much for everything you've done for Grapevine and our communities.
I appreciate that. People talk to me on the streets and the businesses and express that same sentiment a lot of times. And that's about the only satisfaction you get from being mayor for 50 years.
Well, that is an incredible history. And we're here today to really celebrate you and the service that you have done for our community, especially going into 2026. So let's start with some questions as we have our conversation today. I would say few leaders, if any, have served the term that you have now approaching 50 years. What has motivated you to keep serving year after year?
Well, I was introduced to public life at a very early age. My father was mayor when they built the lake, and we had our family stores on Main Street across from City Hall, and the old men of the community and leaders of the community would sit around the fire in there and talk about their dreams and aspirations for the city. And so it kind of got in my blood, and I wanted to see their dreams come true. And so the community kind of became part of my family. And when you're part of a family, you want to take care of it. And so that's, I think, what got me started in the political theater. And once we got started, we had to develop a new business plan after the airport opened because we didn't have but about a third of our land that was left to be taxable. And it took a long time to do that. It's not something that you could do in one or two terms. I think that contributed to it. I think the fact that we always had something big going on that you wanted to see finished. But I think the real reason is just what you said. People kept giving me encouragement. They loved what we have in this community, what we've been able to build together, and they're afraid of the future. They're afraid of the change. They haven't known any other mayor than me, and they give me too much credit for what we have, and they're afraid if I'm gone, they're going to lose it. So that motivation, I think, just the encouragement of the people that they want me to continue to run has been a major factor in me actually doing that. And I guess the short answer is it just happened.
It just happened. Well, that is a great segue into Grapevine and its greatness and so many things that are going on. So how do you believe that you've been able to, with the help of your leadership teams, be able to keep that small town feel amongst these huge tourist events that we have?
Well, I grew up in a small town. It was an agricultural town, and that was the town we knew. We also knew with the airport opening that we were going to change, that we were going to come something different. We weren't for sure what that was. And that was fearful to the people, too. They loved the community that we had, that small town feel, and they didn't want to lose it. And they made that impression upon me very early. Don't lose our small town feel. So we had to put a plan that would keep us from losing that. You know, today people want to just tear down something old and build something new. It's like gravity. That's just a force of nature. And to resist that is not easy. We've seen small towns across Texas just waste away. And we've seen towns in the Metroplex that have just abandoned their original town and built something modern and new and very exciting, and they're proud of those communities too. Sure. But Grapevine, the people here made it clear to me very early, we do not want to lose our small town feel. So it was by design that we didn't. We put a plan together that intentionally preserved Main Street, preserved it as a part of the nucleus of our heritage and a part of our small town field. And we've been able to survive the coming of Walmart as a result of that.
Yes, we have. Well, talking about transformation and growth, there are iconic institutions here in Grapevine and around Grapevine, the Gaylord Texan, the DFW Airport partnerships, Grapevine Main Street, the Great Wolf Lodge, Harvest Hall. These are massive developments. Which project do you believe really changed the trajectory of the city the most?
Well, there's no question that the airport changed the city more than anything. The Grapevine Lake changed it the first time. We became a recreation city. But the airport changed us again. We became a transportation city. And we knew we were going to grow. We knew things were going to change. All the experts' predictions didn't come true. We had to put a new business plan together because only a third of our land was taxable. And you how were we going to provide city services to all this rural land and for all the growth when we didn't have the ability to tax the land? So we put a business plan together that was based on sales tax. And because of that, we made a list of businesses that paid a lot of sales tax, like the Grapevine Mills Mall and Bass Pro. And we rode on airplanes and knocked on doors and went and got those to come to Grapevine. And so we were able to provide the funds to build a great city around that. But the airport changed us. It changed the land use. They told us early on, don't let houses be built next to the airport that will restrict the use of the airport in the future. In 50 cases, zoning cases, we supported the airport when they objected to the development that was going on near there. And so we worked with the airport to try to build our community around it. And it made it very difficult because the airport basically divides our city into three separate cities because of the way it is laid out around the city. And so it's been a difficult job, but it's been a great success story because we invented something different and we built a city that's not like other cities, something that's very special that people can enjoy to live here and a great quality of life, a lot to do, and people respect that. So we've been able to survive the coming of the airport, and it helped. We would have been a much bigger city without the airport. We would have probably been more like Frisco. But we like the city that we have. We still have the small town feel, and we are an international city also. So it's the best of two worlds.
That's right. And I don't know of a great success story that didn't have to go through a lot of hard work to get there. And so I think the leadership that we've had in Grapevine over the years and your decade and 5 decades of leadership, I think we've done a pretty good job together.
Yeah, well, I give the credit to the people.
Yeah.
What the key to the success in our community was to get the people involved. We got them involved in festivals, volunteering, thousands of people, volunteers in all kinds of departments and areas of our government, and they feel like they have contributed to our success. And so they supported worthwhile activities and projects in our community as a result of that, and they feel very proud of our community and enjoy living here.
That's right. Well, Grapevine has a proud heritage, yet it embraces innovation. From tourism strategy to historic preservation, so critically important. How do you balance progress and preservation?
Well, both of those things are inconsistent with one another. It's hard for them both to survive. You normally have to choose between one or the other. But we wanted the best of two worlds, like I said, and so we have worked very hard to preserve our heritage, our Main Street, when a time when main streets have been dying all across this country. It hasn't been easy. It's been a very difficult thing. Preserving your heritage with historic ordinances is very difficult, and it's very controversial because people like to do what they want to with their property. But working together, we've been able to do that, and at the same time, build an international city that's modern and has a lot of really nice jewels like Grapevine Mills Mall, Bass Pro, the Gaylord Texan, all of these things that you mentioned, but we separated them. They cannot exist in the same part of the city, but by having zones, having the Main Street as our anchor, and then having areas where we can put these big box retailers has worked for us. People very early said, we don't want a business on every corner like you see in Plano and some of the other cities in the Metroplex. Put the businesses along the highways and then preserve the neighborhoods where they can have a quality of life and peace and quiet and enjoy the environment. And that's what we did. And people enjoy that. I think that, though, is unique. If you look at the blueprint of our city, it's not a lot like other cities in the Metroplex.
Right. Well, Christmas in Grapevine. I mean, let's just look around at what's going on. There's an event or multiple every day right now going on. I can't imagine the strategy that it takes and the collaboration that it takes. But let's get back to, how did Grapevine become known as the Christmas capital of Texas?
Well, that credit goes to P.W. McCallum, our chairman of our Tourist Convention Bureau. That was his concept. He went to the Texas legislature, and through our representative, Mr. Giovanni, he was able to get the state legislature to designate Grapevine as the Christmas capital of Texas. And then he copyrighted it nationally. And I was a little concerned about that to start out with, because Christmas is universal. Everybody owns Christmas. And for someone to claim that they're the Christmas capital of Texas, I thought was going to get us in trouble. But we got away with it, and it's just built on itself. Now, Newsweek in the last 2 years have named Grapevine as the #1 city in America to celebrate the Christmas city season. So it's not just Texas now, it's all American. And I can really kind of accept the fact that I really think that is true now. We are truly the Christmas capital of Texas. You have the railroad. We haven't had a single family not show up. They have to book those tickets way in advance, and we sell out quickly.
I know.
We have the Palace Theater where we show old movies. Most cities have lost their old movie theater. We have the Gaylord Texan and ICE. And we have so many businesses that participate in the Christmas capital with all the lights and the innovation. We advertise a lot. We have the parade. We have the Carol lights. We have the ice skating. You know, if it's about Christmas, we have it here. And people come from far away to enjoy the Christmas season. And it helps financially our businesses. It helps support Main Street. And it helps support our quality of life and the amenities and the services that we provide.
Did you ever, in your wildest imagination, ever think that so many people would come to Grapevine?
You know, we've had 5 events where Main Street has just been solid with people. It reminds me of those pictures of the Vatican where the people are out listening to the Pope. And to look out off the balcony and see Main Street just totally full of people, I couldn't help but whisper to myself, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That's right. Well, let's talk about your leadership and reflect for just a moment. You've had a long, long career, and you've been mayor 50 years. I've been in banking 37 years. So I've seen a lot of challenges financially for small businesses and for people as well. But worked with my the cities around here to make sure that small businesses were able to survive during the pandemic and such. So given your history and long term, is there anything that really shaped your trajectory into leadership as mayor in that time?
Well, I had the opportunity to be city attorney for 3 years and on the council for 1, which helped prepare me. But to be a successful public official, you have to be able to say no at times, which is tough for a lot of people to do. They don't want to offend people. They feel like people ought to have the right to do what they want to do. But to be a great leader, you have to say yes at the right times, and there's times you have to say no. And I learned that very early because people that I've grown up with that had supported me and I'd known all my life, after the airport came, they had an opportunity to sell their land at great prices. But the higher it was zoned, the more money it would bring. And so we had these difficult zoning cases. A lot of public hearings went into the wee hours of the night. But people didn't care. They wanted to sell their land, get their money, and move away, get to where it was not going to be as congested. And we couldn't always say yes just because they wanted it, just because it would make them more money. And so we had to say no to some people that had been friends for life. And of course, it was upsetting to them.
Sure. That's very difficult. Looking back, is there anything that you would change or do differently?
Oh, yeah. One of the big mistakes we made after the airport came, we hired a firm to write our zoning ordinance. And they wrote an ordinance that would allow apartments to be built as a matter of right in any residential zoning category. And we realized that small apartments were being built in the historic district that were very small, and that they were building them as a matter of right without any control over the city. And when we realized that happened, we changed it. But now, today, we have these little apartments that are scattered throughout our city that don't really fit, that stick out like sore thumbs. And we're working, it's been my dream to be able to reverse that. And the price of single-family lots has risen so much now, they are starting to tear those apartments down and build nice historic homes in its place. So, but that has been a big disappointment, I think, for me, to drive around town and see those apartments that shouldn't have never been there.
Yep. Sometimes that tough things happen. You can't control all things.
Well, everybody makes mistakes.
We try.
It's hard to understand the effect of ordinances sometimes, especially when somebody else has written them.
That's right. That's right. Well, in closing, Mayor, I want to thank you for being here and sharing part of your story. I think we could talk for hours and just get a glimmer of your wisdom and the experiences you've had. But how would you say that you want Grapevine to remember you?
Well, that I listened to the people. I learned very early that what people wanted was more for less. They wanted more city services for less taxes. And the tax rate was 80 cents per 100 when I started, and it's between 22 and 23 cents today. I wanted to eliminate it totally, but the law changed in Texas where it made it very difficult to do that, because it was pointed out to me if a tornado hit the Grapevine Mills Mall, which is a big source of our sales tax, we would be in trouble if we didn't have any ad valorem tax. So we weren't able to do that, but we've got it down where it's the lowest tax rate in the Metroplex. In fact, we share with Tyler, Texas, the lowest tax rate of any city of 50,000 more in the state of Texas. So I think that by listening to the people, being able to get them involved in volunteering, buying into the good projects that we've had, and feeling a part of our successes, is the way I want to be remembered, that he listened to the people and he did what the people wanted, and together we built a great city that everybody's proud of.
Well said. I love that. I think that you will have that.
Thank you very much.
From the people. Well, thank you for joining me, Mayor. So real quickly, if you would, could you share a little, I won't say secret, but a hidden treasure in your Golden Jubilee coming up?
Well, they announced that at the Christmas party with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And so they have a plan to celebrate the 50th Jubilee. They have stationery already designed. They're going to get some of the leaders of Tarrant County involved in organizing that. They have a statute that they are in the process of being built that they're going to dedicate on May 16th. So it's supposed to be a year of celebration, and I hope it turns out that way.
Wonderful. I'm sure it will. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, hon.
Absolutely. Before we close, I want to give an exciting update to our listeners and our podcast viewers. On January the 8th, 2026, in just a few weeks, NBT Financial Bank will break ground on our new full-service branch right here in Grapevine. The ceremony will be held from 9:30 to 10:30, and we are going to have so many people and visitors, speakers. It's going to be a great time of celebration by all. So it's important to note that parking, we want to be very mindful of our neighbors around our new groundbreaking ceremony at the corner of Boyd and Northwest Highway. So the Gaylord Texan has so generously offered to allow us to park in their parking lot behind our development. So make sure that you reach out, get those details, because we want to be careful not to invade our parking spaces for our neighbors so their businesses aren't hampered. And we want to give a very special thank you to so many different community partners who have welcomed us and who are supporting us in this event and our groundbreaking in our new bank. So thank you to our community for stepping up when it's just been amazing, but so busy right now in December. Make sure that if you are going to attend, that you RSVP to a very specific email, and that is rsvpgrapevine@nbt.bank. And we'll make sure that we have those parking instructions on there for you as well. And each month, we always want to celebrate our young leaders coming up through GCISD. This month, I want to congratulate and share with you our most recent scholarship recipient is Emily Orler. She continues to demonstrate strong leadership, service, and a heart for our community. So thank you, Emily, for all that you're doing. We're so excited to celebrate you and for the community at large. Don't forget, each month we have a special scholarship offering to our GCISD seniors. 1 month is a Mustang, and the next month alternating is a Panther. So make sure you check out our website and get those details and get those scholarship applications submitted. Thank you for joining me for this very special episode of Hometown Banknotes. From all of us at NBT Financial Bank, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we look forward to an incredible 2026 with our Grapevine community. I'm Janice Spooner, and remember, stay inspired, stay connected, and keep building something great right here at home. Thanks for joining us on Hometown Banknotes. If you liked today's episode, be sure to follow, share, and like, and show someone how to make a difference in their life by understanding what's going on in the economy, their life, and in their community.